The video begins with an elderly man, Ralph, listening to a tape recorder, practicing the voice with a name tag on and a mantra murmured under his breath. As he walks away, a gun tucked at his waist, the camera slowly unveils a grim twist. This is not Ralph, but an imposter. The real Ralph lies lifeless on the sofa, a cord around his neck. The scene shifts to Munich, where the infamous assassin, the Jackal, is set to strike again. Disguised as a cleaner, he enters Ralph's workplace on a mission to assassinate Elias, son of the far-right politician Manfred Fest, now a frontrunner for German Chancellor. Inside an office, the Jackal carefully attaches a silencer to his weapon. A woman enters unexpectedly, and he responds instantly. Though Elias escapes with minor injuries after the Jackal shoots intentionally at the wall, before making his daring escape, ziplining from the roof to vanish into the city. Back home, this master of disguise takes off his mask and prepares for the real assassination. Elias was just the bait and not the real target. Some have blamed Manfred's anti-immigration stance. Manfred is asked if he wants to give a reaction to the latest Aldag Charles story. Manfred says the man whose real name is Suleiman is an attention-seeking fraud. Meanwhile, the Jackal gets ready to assassinate someone. He shoots the side of the building, hitting with pinpoint accuracy. Manfred arrives at the hospital, but as soon as he enters the revolving door, the Jackal shoots him in the head. Authorities begin scrambling to find the shooter. The Jackal walks out of the building with a suitcase and his hoodie up. He drives away in a vehicle. He switched vehicles moments later. When police check his room, they find a bomb which explodes. The car he left behind blows up in the parking garage as well. Mission accomplished. Over at MI6 headquarters in London, we meet Bianca. She is shown a Russian 2000s. As she looks over the gun, they find out about the assassination in Germany. In Nuremberg, Germany, the Jackal looks at chessboards. He tells a Martin Krasner that he needs to get out of there. Bianca lives at home with her husband Paul and daughter Jasmine. They watch the news. They talk about all who thinks he's God. Paul says the software could show them where all the big money is coming from and where it goes. Bianca is more interested in the sniper and the single bullet that took out the German politician. The Jackal is stopped at the border while going to France. He's forced to open the boot so it can be searched. The guard asks about the box in the front. The Jackal shows him a Jacques set and explains that is why he was in Nuremberg. After a long delay, the Jackal is finally allowed to pass through. Bianca, eager to pursue the case, heads to work, where she expresses disbelief that the shooter managed to hit a target from 2.3 miles away, although we know it's possible. Snipers are apparently her specialty, and she wants to be in on the case. She argues with the German intelligence agent, Werner. She doesn't believe the shot was over 3,815 meters and insists that this weapon must have been broken down. They watch video of the Jackal leaving and getting into a vehicle outside. Bianca doesn't think the gun could be kept in his case because it's too big. She suggests the barrel came in two parts. Bianca says a gunmaker has been trying to do this for years. His name is Norman Stoke, and he is Northern Irish. Norman has been on the run since the Stockholm assassination in 2018. The Jackal arrives in Paris before grabbing a taxi. Bianca is confident she can find him. It's the only lead they have, and she has an asset named Alice, codenamed Sparrow, in Belfast, whom she believes will help. The Jackal goes to an internet cafe. He uses the dark web to contact someone to say he's invoicing them from Munich. The Jackal is told to check his account in 24 hours. He receives a message from someone with a job offer. He wants to meet the Jackal. When he says he can't do that, they offer more money. The Jackal agrees to meet in person for $1 million. Bianca meets Alison Stoke, Kate Dickey. Alison asks Nadine what she wants. Alison knows Larry would kill her if he knew who she was talking to. Bianca asks about Norman. Bianca threatens she'll go back to prison if she doesn't help. Alison says she can't ask Larry out of the blue. Bianca expects to hear from her tonight. The Jackal remains at the internet cafe. He's told the deposit for the meeting has been paid before leaving. The scene shifts to the Jackal, who watches and sketches birds before noticing a vehicle in the distance. Zena Jansson meets him and says she wants him to kill all. He tells her what he wants before leaving in a hurry. She says they're going to have to get creative with her asset, who is not cooperating. Alison has a daughter, Emma, who is a student in London. She's also involved in a radical leftist group. Bianca goes to a protest and tells her partner to just arrest Emma, even though she isn't doing anything. Bianca watches them argue before Emma is arrested. They go to an interview room. Bianca instructs the male officer what to say when interrogating Emma. When Emma asks for a solicitor, she's told she can call her mother. Emma is put in a cell. The Jackal travels to Spain and spots his wife, Nuria, outside. Meanwhile, the police discover that Emma has suffered a medical emergency. Bianca hurries to the police station to figure out what's happening and ends up joining Emma in the ambulance. The Jackal hides a gun in a safe. Bianca is informed that Emma has been arrested and efforts are made to revive her. The Jackal finds out he hasn't received his payment and is met with the four-letter word when he follows up. The scene transitions to Bianca receiving a call from Sparrow. An irate Sparrow accuses her of orchestrating Emma's arrest as revenge. Bianca denies the claim, but Sparrow calls her a liar and demands she secure Emma's release, just as she had done for her. Bianca agrees, but only in exchange for Norman Stokes' phone number by the end of the day. Meanwhile, the Jackal delves into research on Dag Charles, UDC, founder of the Dag House Corporation. He logs into his Cayman Metropolitan Bank account to investigate a €3.75 million deposit made 14 days earlier. Nuria, his wife, notices his distraction and asks what's on his mind. He explains that an associate has misunderstood their obligations to him. It's Carlito's birthday, and the Jackal gives him a handmade airplane. Marissa, Poochie Lagarde, takes photos, but the Jackal sternly reminds her not to post them on social media. At the airport, Nuria asks if he loves her. He affirms it with a kiss before she departs. Once she's gone, the Jackal takes a taxi to Andalusia Avenue and accesses a safety deposit box filled with cash and fake IDs. At a pub, Sparrow covertly snaps photos of Larry's contact list while he gets her a drink. She emails the list to Bianca and calls Central Control before leaving. The Jackal later meets Xena at the English Garden. She conveys her client's inquiry about whether their plan is feasible. He assures her that UDC isn't untouchable. When she negotiates the fee, offering $20 million upfront instead of $50 million, he agrees on the condition that the job is completed before River's release on the 28th. They agree to use the codename Rodan for UDC, though the Jackal suggests sticking with his moniker. Operating under the alias Her Thirsk, the Jackal meets with bank manager Zimmer to discuss the deposit. Zimmer reveals that the payer is Hellolini. The Jackal investigates several companies linked to Hellolini, including Newtone LTC, registered in Guernsey. Meanwhile, the phone number Sparrow obtained leads Bianca, Spencer, Toby, and Colin to track down Norman. Outside his location, Bianca orders him to come out, but Spencer shoots at a booby trap rigged on the front door. Inside, they come under heavy fire. Spencer is killed, and Bianca calls for backup, reporting casualties. Despite their efforts, Norman escapes. Bianca suspects someone tipped him off when she finds his abandoned gear nearby. In another moment, the Jackal scans online photos from the Optipan annual celebratory gala, noting the attendance of Elias Fest and Hans Lang. In Munich, Germany, the Jackal, disguised as an elderly man struggling to walk, goes by the alias Herbauer. He talks to an employee, Frau Mockler, about arranging his mother's burial and claims he needs his car keys. While Mockler retrieves them for him, the Jackal uses the opportunity to install a remote access program on her computer. He finishes the installation before she returns. Elsewhere, Elias Fest starts his rehabilitation to prepare for his father's funeral. Frustrated, he yells at Muller, demanding to know how a murderer got to his father. After completing a minute on the treadmill, Elias vows to do 2 minutes the next day. Meanwhile, the Jackal remotely accesses Mockler's system, gathering details about attendees for Manfred Fest's funeral, including Stefan Wolf. Later, Bianca receives a call while alone and meets with Osita shortly after. Osita mentions meeting Carver and raises concerns about a potential leak in their operation. Damien and Isabel are the only ones aware of the investigation. Osita also shares that an American contact has warned of U.S. concerns about Manfred Fest's assassination inspiring copycat killings of politicians. His department has been instructed not to share details with 303. The Jackal prepares to leave when he gets a call asking if he has checked his account. Zena Jansson informs him that Rodan will be in Tallinn on the 22nd. The Jackal agrees to start making arrangements. In a parking garage, he confronts a man at gunpoint, orders him into the trunk, and then shoots him before closing it. Bianca waits for an update from Allison. Damien provides her with a list of snipers, and she questions where they were when Fest was killed. Patty uncovers something on a phone, revealing that only incoming and outgoing numbers were retrievable. In the 3 weeks leading up to Fest's murder, there was a surge of calls and messages from a single number, which stopped on the day of the murder. The caller is identified as the Jackal. At Manfred Fest's funeral, Elias notes that his mother has ignored his recovery. Struggling to reach the car, he unknowingly gets into a vehicle with the Jackal. Moments later, the Jackal kills the guard and attempts to escape pursuing vehicles. Elias frantically calls Muller for help, and Muller manages to shoot out one of the Jackal's tires. Elias confesses his anger at being shot by the Jackal and offers to pay him for killing his father. Muller overhears their conversation. The Jackal dismisses the offer, stating it's not about the money. Elias attempts to break the car window but fails. Eventually, the Jackal shoots him. Afterward, the Jackal changes his clothes and prepares to leave, receiving a motion detection alert on his phone. He sets a timer on an explosive, walks away from the vehicle, and the car explodes just as Muller arrives. This raises a critical question. Why would anyone dare to backtrack on paying a sniper capable of executing a precise shot from 3 miles away? And that's why you don't mess with the Jackal. Thanks for watching.